You know that classic image of the chief financial officer? The one kind of tucked away in a back office, buried under a mountain of spreadsheets? Well, it's time to completely throw that picture out. Today, the CFO is stepping out of the shadows and onto the bridge of the ship, helping steer the entire company through some seriously disruptive waters. This isn't just a minor job tweak. It's a fundamental reinvention of one of the most critical roles in the C-suite.
So how exactly is this massive shift happening? We're going to break it all down. First, we'll look at the great redefinition of the role itself. Then, we'll get into what's actually driving this change. We'll walk the execution tightrope they all face, check out the new tech and talent in their toolkit, and finally, we'll peek into what the future-ready CFO looks like.
All right, let's start with the big idea here, what we're calling the Great Redefinition. And I want to be clear, this is so much more than a new job title. We're talking about a complete paradigm shift. The CFO is no longer just the person guarding the company's wallet. They're now one of the key architects of its future.
I mean, just look at the contrast on this slide. On the left, you've got the old-school CFO. Words like guardian, scorekeeper, gatekeeper. It all sounds pretty defensive, right? Focused on the past. But now, look at the right. Architect, co-pilot, enabler. This is all about offense, about driving the business forward. It's a journey from the back office to the front lines of strategy, and it's happening fast.
And this quote from Forbes just nails it. The whole conversation has changed. It's moved away from, okay, how did we do last quarter to where do we need to place our bets to win the next 5 years? It's a huge leap from simply reporting on what's happened to proactively shaping what will happen next.
So, you have to ask, why is this happening right now? What are the major forces at play that are pushing this evolution? Let's dive into the powerful currents that are totally reshaping the CFO's job description.
It's really a perfect storm of factors. You've got constant economic uncertainty, the explosive rise of AI and other tech, and this relentless demand from every part of the business for instant, data-backed insights. Oh, and you can't forget the growing complexity of global markets and things like ESG. In this environment, the old way of doing finance just doesn't cut it anymore. The CFO has to be the one to navigate all this complexity.
But here's a little twist. You'd think with all this pressure and chaos, CFOs would be hunkering down. But it's actually the opposite. Their confidence is on the rise, hitting a 6.6 out of 10 in late 2025. That's its highest level in 4 years. So what's going on? Well, that confidence isn't just wishful thinking. It's translating directly into action. Look at this jump. The willingness to take on greater risks to drive growth has shot up. We're talking from about a third of CFOs to nearly 60% in just 1 quarter. They're not just trying to survive the storm, they're learning how to sail faster in it. And this leads us to what is maybe the most challenging part of the modern CFO's job, the execution tightrope. How in the world do you aggressively cut costs while at the same time making massive investments in innovation and future growth? It is a super delicate balancing act.
This chart really tells the story. You can see their top priorities are almost contradictory. Number 1, enterprise-wide cost optimization. But right behind it are these huge investment areas like digitizing finance and automating processes. It seems like they want to have their cake and eat it too. So the big question is, how do they actually pull it off?
Here's a look at their playbook. They're not just making blind cuts. They're being incredibly strategic. On the left, you see where they're cutting, trimming discretionary spending, getting rid of inefficient legacy systems, that sort of thing. But that money isn't just going into a savings account. It's being immediately reallocated to the priorities on the right, AI, data analytics, and upskilling their teams. It creates this awesome, virtuous cycle where efficiency gains directly fund future innovation.
Now, to walk that tightrope successfully, CFOs need a completely new set of tools. And I'm not just talking about a fancier version of Excel. I'm talking about a powerful combination of cutting-edge technology and a whole new approach to talent.
And make no mistake, AI is at the absolute heart of this new toolkit. It's becoming the finance team's most valuable co-pilot. It handles all the repetitive, transactional stuff, which in turn frees up the humans to focus on the high-value strategic work that the business so desperately needs from them. But here's the thing, you can't just flip a switch and become AI-powered. The smartest CFOs are using a 2-track strategy. On one track, they're getting quick wins by using the AI features already embedded in the software they own. At the very same time, on the second track, they're playing the long game, building a data-savvy culture and the rock-solid data foundations needed for a much deeper transformation. So, what's the ultimate goal here? It's a concept called autonomous finance. Picture this. a future where AI and automated systems handle pretty much all the routine financial transactions and reporting. This allows the human finance team to evolve completely, shifting their focus almost exclusively to being high-value strategic advisors to the business.
This shift creates a really fascinating new responsibility for the CFO. As AI starts making more and more recommendations, the CFO's role evolves from being the primary decision-maker to being the chief decision auditor. Their job becomes to constantly challenge the AI, to ensure its logic is sound, and to maintain governance and accountability for its outputs.
And of course, a new toolkit requires a new kind of team. This transformation is giving rise to these incredible new hybrid roles. Think tax technologists or finance data scientists, people who are fluent in both the language of finance and the language of technology. This is truly the future of the profession.
Okay, let's pull all of this together. What does this all mean for the person sitting in the CFO chair? Let's paint a quick picture of what it takes to be a successful, future-ready financial leader in this new world.
The modern CFO has to be a little bit of everything. They need to be a technologist who understands AI, a data storyteller who can make numbers meaningful, and a talent strategist who's constantly developing their team. On top of that, they have to be a true enterprise leader who builds bridges across the entire company, and an architect of resilience who's always planning for what's next. It's a huge job.
Let's be really clear about something. This evolution from scorekeeper to strategic navigator, it isn't optional anymore. It's not a nice to have. For any company that wants to stay competitive, it's an absolute mandate for success. Organizations that fail to make this leap are going to find themselves falling further and further behind.
And that really brings us to the final crucial point. The fundamental question being asked of the CFO and their team has changed. It's no longer just, what are the numbers? Now, the question from the CEO and the board is, how do we deliver these outcomes? It's a profound shift that moves the entire finance